you who do not know the user story, we'll talk about in bit detail in a couple of slides. So there was an interesting incident happened. What I heard, two people were talking, and then they were discussing about the year-end holidays and other stuff. And one of them said that, yeah, uh, my travel plans are not much this time because of COVID-19 and other stuff. I probably will be relaxing at home only, but certainly would plan out for the next year what I would like to do and other stuff. So then again, the new year is coming, and then people will say, okay, what are your resolutions? What you are planning to do and other stuff? And then obviously related to COVID, right? So one of them said that, yeah, uh, my plan is to remain healthy next year, and that's what my expectation is. And another person said, what do you mean by healthy, remain healthy? Can you explain? And then at that time I had to move out, so I didn't hear what they were talking about. But I would like to ask you that, how would you explain that, okay, I want to be healthy, right? What would be your answer so that even a 6-year child can understand that whether a person has achieved his goal of being healthy or not? So what would you say? Being healthy, or I want to be healthy? So let me set the context as well. We are talking about the product owner role, right? More like couple of sessions also we talked about product owner pitfalls and other stuff, pitfalls. So here we would like to talk more on the user story and other stuff, right? This one is more kind of when it will be done kind of stuff, right? So what do you think when I say that, okay, I want to remain healthy? How do I know that whether I have achieved my goal or not? What do you think? What has to happen so that anybody can come and say, okay, whether I have achieved my goal or not? Many of you might have identified that as a goal as well. So just thinking that how would you say? Yeah. So what my question is, if someone says that I have decided to remain healthy, or in the next year I will make sure I'm healthy. So when we will say that okay, he is really healthy, what has to happen? How do we objectively identify that, okay, he is really healthy?
It is
So
a
what kind of,
self-realization of the individual that what he feels about his own body, whether he is capable of doing things without any struggle, with his full strength and capacity, is his own self-realization that yes, if I do this work, something is not paining my knee or my elbow or my joints. That's how we have to think.
okay, so if we have to put it very objectively, probably he zero visit to doctor, or less than 5 visits to doctor, then probably he is healthy, or he is not hospitalized, then he is healthy, right? That could be one of them. Thanks. What else?
We can put some benchmark, like we can decide by next year I should not get these problems, or if my health conditions, or if my body, or if my parts, these particular parts are in good shape, means I am in good health.
I
It's
need to
very difficult to
proactively
objectively identify at good shape. That is not testable.
I need to proactively measure my health parameters. I need to ensure that I'm intact with my health parameters, and I'm not having any uncomfortability in doing my daily routines activities. That is first thing. I need to be proactive enough to get the checking done, and then be prepared for all my daily routines and my work and everything.
Okay, good. So you are saying that if the different health parameters, medical reports and other stuff, that certainly
Yeah,
can be measurable.
annual means a health checkup report will say okay for all parameters.
Okay.
Physically fit, mentally is okay, and we do not have any
or diseases.
I should not have any uncomfortability. I should not have any other pain or things like that, as others say. And I have my medical reports going good, and I'm able to do my work.
Okay, good. Vijay, would you like to add in anything?
I can do what I want to in the right frame of mind. So it's apart from the physical, this thing, I also go on a mental health, uh, because physical also comes into as an outcome. Physical is just output, physical health is outcome. Mental health is an outcome that I want, kind of, I feel happy doing those things, what I want, generally can. That is my definition of being healthy.
Good. So this one is just for everyone to think about that whatever resolution, if you plan to take anything, make sure those are measurable and something good. Like Vijay said, that it's not just about physical, but overall aspect. The mental health also is one of the parameter which we need to look into. So the reason for asking this question was to put you into the product owner's role, right? Any requirements are there from customers, from users, from user groups, then they will have to identify that, okay, if we implement these features or the requirement, we say user story, how I would measure that, okay, this is done. The output would be one thing and outcome would be another thing. So when we talk about the user story mapping topic, I just really wanted to trigger everyone on the acceptance criteria, or we say that, okay, writing a proper user story so that you get what you are expecting. Okay, with that, let me start the user story mapping session. Okay, about myself, you know me, I think already multiple times I have been presenting. So I have 20 plus years of experience, 10 plus in Agile with in multiple domains. The skills, Agile transformation, coaching, training, I'm very passionate about. Team dynamics and cultural change, and also speaker at various conferences and webinars as well. I'm also SAFe program consultant and few other certifications as well to my name. In the lockdown, I learned some more Sanskrit verses, Slok, and also doing some IIT Roorkee certification. So that's going good. I didn't get much time to play chess or solving puzzle or go out with friends and other stuff. That's still fine. As long as the health is there, it's already a good wealth. So that's for me. Okay, let's talk about briefly what we are going to cover today. So what is user story mapping? How it can help me? How it can help customer? How it can align everyone to the same page? So let's look at about user story mapping. Why we should be using user story mapping? Why the current way? Is it something better? Obviously, once the session is over, then you can compare yourself that what are the benefits, how I can implement this user story mapping technique in my current field, current job, current company. And let's look at the user story mapping with example. Let's see whether I will be able to showcase you something on whether how the user story mapping works, and then what are the different parameters, what are the other aspects we have to consider for that one. And let's spend some time for question answers as well. Those of you who are not familiar with the user story, it might be a very new word for you, right? So user story is a short, simple description of a feature told from the perspective of the person who desires the new functionality, new capability, right? That would be a user or a customer of the system. So in simple words, user story is the requirements from user's perspective, which solves his problem, his, her problem. So rather than having a long Word document where all the requirements are written, We are focusing more on a short, simple description from the user perspective, which user can understand. And the normal format is, as a user, I want XYZ so that I get some benefits. So benefits in terms of solving a problem. That can be a simple user story, right? So whenever we refer to user story in this session, this is more about some requirement from user perspective. It's simple to understand. That's all. The first question we have to make sure we understand is why user story mapping is required. So I have presented a bit differently. What are the challenges we are facing right now? What are the problems we face right now? And how user story mapping will help us resolve those problems. So on the right hand side, you see our normal product backlog is there, right? So it's prioritized. It's good. Sometimes it's very difficult to work with product owner and then get the priority like 1, 2, 3, 4. Otherwise, everything would be one. Yeah, so there are some prioritized backlog already available, some stuff to be done, and then some more, and then some more, and some more. But what are the challenges in this one? So the backlog doesn't tell me. If I look at the backlog, I don't get it, what it is building. Probably I have to go through multiple user stories, linkages and other stuff. Then probably I will be able to identify what actually they are working on. Right? Obviously, this one is prioritized product backlog. We call it flat backlog. Yeah, it can have epic and then features and user story. That's still there. The hierarchy would be there. Whether the item, the requirements are big or small, that's a different thing. But how I would know that how the things are related to each other? A particular feature, I would like to know that, okay, there are more items to this one and I would like to pick up something more on this one. Very difficult to identify. See, if you are using any tool, right, then certainly you put some queries, or in Excel you put some filters and you will get it. But otherwise, it's difficult to identify how things are related, how the requirements are related to each other, right? How the user journey flows through. Very difficult to find out that what user will do first, because the user, obviously we have put in some user, the requirements or user stories are written in a way that as a user, as a frequent user, whatever different personas we might be using. But here, if the backlog is a very flat backlog, probably I won't be able to identify what is the user journey and other stuff. And we don't know whether we are building right product, which will help customer fulfill his requirements, will solve his problem. We don't know probably. What all of is part of release and what is not. Well, that's probably very simple, right? You just put some filter and then you will get it. But there are two parts. What all is part of the release and what is not as well. What we are not doing right now. Maybe in the next release we are doing. But what if I have some bandwidth, or I would like to exchange some stories from release 1 to release 2? There is no direct or clear indication that will help me do it, right? So again, going back, if user story mapping is some technique which will solve these problems, then certainly I am very much interested in that one, right? So documents, they don't work the way you think they do, right? In one of the sessions we talked about that if you pass the documents, right, the purpose is lost, the meaning is lost, right? When we talk face to face is completely different, and then when you write in WhatsApp or email or Notepad and then send it across, you are not sure whether you will get the same intended meaning the other person will take. That's not the case, right? So last time we talked about one example of cake, right, baking the cake user story, right? So the message was on the phone, just write the happy birthday. And this is what they created. Just write happy birthday. So if you just follow the documents, probably that's not going to work, right? Even if you specify in writing, there was another one, right? What do you want to write? Nothing. And then the person had written nothing on the cake. So we want to avoid that one. More focus on the individuals and interactions. That should be happening. So when writing user story, if that is happening, then certainly good. If user story mapping is a technique which will help increase the conversation, then certainly I am very much interested. We all know, right, the Chinese whisper game. You say something and then when it passes through multiple people and comes back, you won't be you. Everybody will laugh because the meaning and everything has completely changed. Now we also need to make sure when the requirements are communicated, they are communicated in a way that the actual message is conveyed. They understand why it is being done. So 3 C's, right? User story card, conversation, and confirmation. Those parts. So it should increase the discussion between different stakeholders, right? Let's look at it. When we do not discuss enough, what will happen? Then we have to assume, right? This is what we are talking about. We might talking about, and then you say, yeah, I'm glad we all agree on this one. This is what we were looking for. And then we go ahead. But if the discussions are happening, right? They say, oh, I think now it's very clear that what I am thinking is not the same as what other persons are thinking. It's completely different. We need to discuss some more. And then, oh, it will come to some conclusion. Okay, everybody will be at the same page. Everybody say, yeah, we say the same thing. I'm glad we all agree now. See, there's a complete difference. That's why conversation is very important. That's what. And then user story mapping helps to do that only. It increases, it brings all people together and helps initiate the conversation. That's very crucial on this one. Another reason, so I'm more on what are the current problems and then how user story mapping should help this one, right? So the research says that 80% of features are rarely used or never used. So if you, the Pareto principles, right? The 20% features are satisfying 80% of customers. In between, I think few years back, I read one article that the Microsoft Excel, they removed some of the functions from the Excel file because nobody was using that one. Now, why to maintain and then do all those work and support them? So they removed those many functions because nobody was using that. Now, actually, those features or the functions came because somebody had requested. But later on, it was not used, or very few percentage of customers were using this one. So we have to make sure whatever we develop, it is in the 20% where most of the customers would be using it. So how do we validate? For that, we have to make sure we release early, right? Agile principle, this one. We release early and often. That's one of the way to get it working. And then how do we validate we are building right product? Feedback, customer collaboration. Show it to them, verify, validate our hypothesis, and then move forward on this one. Right? So what is user story mapping? So it solves all the problems we just now talked about. Right? It's about understanding the big picture. The flat backlog doesn't give me a big picture, the overall picture. So user story mapping, we'll pick up all the user stories and put it, and then we'll map it the way it will give us a big picture. It will also talk about the different users. It also should talk about what should go into the first release as well. And it should help us prioritize as well. That how do I prioritize if I have a limited time, and that is constant. Everybody wants something to be delivered, the features to be delivered yesterday, right? The time is very critical. So how do we prioritize the user story and still deliver early and often to customers? Right? This is a simple collaborative exercise that helps you discover requirement from a user experience point of view. We talk about the user journey, right? How the user, that is very much nowadays when most of the apps are in mobile, right? It's very critical that they understand that how the user journey flows through. It's very critical that what all the actions taken by the user, and then we design our product based on that, so that we can give a very satisfying user experience to the end users. It's a visual tool to create value by building the stuff that matters. So obviously we will pick it up everything, but then we will prioritize them as well. What should go into the first release, what should not be done. And then we can compare as well based on the priority, that okay, which user story is more priority, which should go into the nearest release, the upcoming release, and which can go into the later release. Discover the whole story and build the right product. We talked about that it should help customer fix or solve their problem, right? So building the right product. So let me give you one example on this one is, we are not focusing on like systems thinking, right? That the bottleneck sometimes, like we talk about, if developers can complete their coding and the development, say in half the time, the overall impact in the delivery might not be even more than 5%. Why? Because that's not the bottleneck. So what we are thinking here is discover the whole story in the systems thinking. Look at all the aspects of the user journey and then build the right product. And it's not, we are not focusing on creating set of written requirements. It's more about the shared understanding rather than sharing the requirements. This is what you need to do. No, this is more on the sharing the understanding. Shared understanding is the key. It's about thinking from user perspective. That's the key in this one. So how do you create user story map? Right. So the simple way is, what we will be doing is, we will be picking all the user story and then placing in some structure, right? So a story map is a simple way to tell a story and break it down into parts. You want to a very big user story like manage email, right? So manage email is very big, but yeah, that's what I want to send email and receive email. So we have broken down into some part. Then send email also, there will be different aspects, right? We can break it down into parts, but the starting point should be from the user perspective, what they are interested in. And it's not a one person activity. Everybody should be doing it together. So let me show you one simple example of a user story map, and then we can brainstorm on the different questions which are there. So something like user story mapping would be like this. When we will have a user at the top, we can have different users as well. Then the key activities, and then what are the narrative, the flow, how the user's journey should go. And then we will create user stories which will go into a particular backbone, the activities or narrative flow, and then we can prioritize on this one. So this is at the end, this is what we want to create. We identify the user, identify the different activities, what is the backbone, how it flows through in the system, and then the value is delivered, and then put different activities, or we can say user stories, into details, and that's what we will be doing. So this will be our user story. Let's look into details later on, but before that, let's discuss on some of the questions. Who is involved in user story mapping, or who should get involved in the user story mapping? This is a question to everyone. What do you think?
The entire Scrum team.
Come again?
Development team.
Yeah.
Scrum team.
Product owner.
Yeah, product owner has to be there.
Yeah.
Into Scrum team. Scrum
team
master
as a whole.
also.
Stakeholders.
Yeah, if they are interested, certainly we should invite stakeholders as well. They also are very much interested in identifying that what we are building and how it's going to help end user and customers, because they can be a proxy customer for us as well. Then we are also UX designer as well, right? We are more focused on that as well. So if the user story or the user experience involves UX designers, certainly subject matter experts. That's what. So yeah, what I mean to say is this is everybody is together because the focus is on creating shared understanding. That's why we won't make it limited to only few people only. Okay, when you should map user stories. So when we should conduct this user story mapping activity.
During release planning,
I didn't get it.
During vertical slicing of features.
Okay.
I
during
feel
planning
it's
itself, we need to slide the user stories. During planning,
So we also said that we will even the first step, a story maybe is a simple way to tell a story and break it down into parts as well.
When there is a workflow involved, when there is a customer journey involved, then we should map the user stories to actually tell the full to map the full workflow end to end.
Okay. At what time?
Or is it during the grooming when we really do this?
I feel it's during backlog grooming.
Okay. Backlog grooming, certainly it's going to help, right?
But backlog grooming, we only do only one single user story, or not all user story, right?
We should do during the discovery phase.
Good. Yeah, probably I also would start at the discovery phase because I really want to see if the release is not planned, or I would like to know that what I should build, which will help the customer as well as I will get the feedback. Then it makes sense that I will do it at discovery phase, and then certainly. So the short answer I would put it here is as and when required, right? Probably no answer is wrong. Even in the backlog grooming, if you need this one, then what are the dependencies and other stuff? Probably you will do it this one, right? If you look at the user story mapping, right? What all you have done, what is pending, or something we cannot do, and we have a fixed timeline, right? We want to extend some stories from here, from the next release to current release. Even in the backlog grooming, I would be using that one as well. Discovery phase to start with. Yeah, that's also correct.
Because even I felt it can be done more during the backlog grooming, because during the sprint planning we don't have much of time to really do, whereas backlog grooming we have enough time to do all these activities, I felt.
Anybody? So in the discovery phase, if you look at the, right, we are talking about the journey, right? User journey, right? So even the, see, we are not saying that everything is done and then you have to go this way only. Even the architects also will be involved in this one, and they also need to figure it out, right? How it should flow through, whether it's feasible, not feasible, what technical challenges will come in other aspects. And if they want to create at least some structure, which again will be emergent structure, evolving structure, but they need to know at that time as well. So at least if we identify the first part, and then say in the bottom part where we are putting more details, that is still fine, but it should be done at the discovery phase for sure, and then they can continue doing it as and when required, or obviously and must in the backlog grooming phase as well.
Yeah, Rahul, sorry you called me. So yeah, this is not the task for typical your refinement. However, sometimes if you want to find out on MVP or during the discovery phase that what is that first chunk that you want, or maybe next one or something like that. So that kind of release kind of map if you want to create.
Yes. So for
Even for
discovery or release or MVP, identifying what we should go MVP or MFF, certainly at that time you will be using, and then yeah, anytime you can refer to this one, and backlog grooming also, certainly you can use this one and update it. How long should it take? So there are no fixed answers. So don't worry, I'm expecting like 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours. So what do you think?
Based on the dependencies and how many stories are associated, means those things will matter, right? If it is more, then definitely it will take more time. If it is less, then maybe it will.
Yeah, it depends on how soon we are going to release, what is the team size, how much requirements are ready and other stuff. Yeah. So we are not putting any restrictions, but obviously we need to make sure that something concrete, the output has to be there. We don't want to go for the perfection from the start, but at least get the first version and be iterative. Get the second version and third version and other stuff. What are the logistics needed?
So from my experience, I have done a lot of these activities. So we have done for just for 1 day for a kind of 6 months period, or even 2 days Big Bang activity with the product owner, sometimes the salespeople and marketing people coming together with the team. So this exercise sometimes was a 1 day or a 2 day activity, Big Bang at one location, face to face.
Yeah.
So depends.
It does take, because you want to identify everything, and the logistics probably nowadays is work from home, right? Everybody. So probably we will need a tool which can help us do. Otherwise, a big in a room, everybody goes together, a big wall is available, sticky notes and everything, and then they start putting the details and other stuff.
And it is also evolving, right? It is not a fixed kind of things. Over the time, it may change, and then accordingly need to.
Yes, certainly. Yeah, so over the time, in the sense that you certainly would like to get some feedback, right? So once one sprint is over and then you get some feedback, you certainly would like to change, obviously, or because of the regulatory requirements or competitor releasing something new and you would like to change, or budget constraint, so many factors. Yeah, very right, that it can change. Nothing wrong in it. So, okay, so how do you create story map? So there is a user story mapping book by the Jeff Patton, right? So frame the problem, what you really want to do, map the big picture, that is about the user story journey, right? How we will be solving it and how it is interlinked with multiple activities and other stuff. And explore in the sense, what all activities, what all details you need to add to make it working, what all personas you need to create to get it working. Then you talk about viable releases, right? Because normally, generally, it will happen that you have many more requirements than the team can complete, right? So you have to cut down on the requirements. So cut down in the sense that one way to do is you create multiple releases. So you slice out releases. In the first release, if it is MVP, what should go? It should make sure that the big picture we will see later on, but it should cover all the user experience or user flow points it should cover. And then identify a development strategy as well. What are the risks? What are the dependencies? The priority, sequencing, and those also needs to be worked upon. So certainly when we talk about discussions, right? Earlier we talked about that handoffs doesn't work, or user story 3 C's are there, right? Conversation, in that more discussions should happen. And we really want to identify and then make sure that the problem is clearly defined and why we are solving this problem, who is getting benefited, whether it's a company, customer, user, and how are we going to measure the success metrics as well, right? So that also has to be think through very clearly. Let's go to this one, and then if yes, we will have some time to do a real exercise as well.
Is this mapping one-to-many kind of thing or many-to-many?
Is it
one-to-many mapping or many-to-many?
The user story mapping, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, so we will have a user, right? So different users will have a different mapping. So a particular user may not have all the tasks, but the another persona will have specific activities, or we will have a workflow as well, right? So particular user won't go through all the workflows. So this will have one-to-many mapping. There will be user, then the back, some activities we will say, then how the activities will be completed. So we can say manage email or something like, let's go about the e-commerce, right? E-shopping. Then in that case, what normally you do is you search for the product, right? So first identify the product, then add to the cart, and then purchase, right? And then provide some other details as well. So those are the back activities. And in the backbone, you can put in like search, different ways to provide search, right? A basic search and advanced search. So what all, based on the product, based on the last purchase item, based on the recent history, based on the top seller items. So those will go into the details. Then they will identify, or they will see that what all should go into the first release. So you look at this one, the line, right? Right now it's a very flat horizontal line. Excuse me. But normally we, based on the requirement, the line can go up, down as well. We probably are not interested in completing all these 6 detailed user stories, but just a couple of user stories are good enough. Then probably we won't go for all 6 user stories in the first release, but we'll just pick up the couple of user stories only. And the same would be the case for the third activity as well. So what we are saying is, based on the user's journey, we can identify that what should go into the first release and what we are not interested in going for the first release. So those will be in the bottom. Now, if we have 3 releases, we can plan out release 1, release 2, and release 3. So those will depend on when is the first release we want to do, whether it's an MVP or we want to do something MMF, minimum marketable feature, or it's an release over release. So we already sorry, we already have some releases, and this one is on top of it. So let's do one activity, and then let's make a list of all the activities we do after waking up, right, in the morning. Let's create our user story as a user, as a me, what all I do till I go and reach office, right? So simple, like you have to put activities, one activity in one sticky note. Yeah, this is, we are working from home, right? So after waking up, somebody is saying take rest in the office. Good. That has to happen. Making high level plan for the day. Okay. Do yoga at 8 to 9 mm. Wonderful. That has to be there. Now just imagine. Just imagine that this is what all requirements are there. Okay. Consider all these are user stories, because there is some benefit. Checking emails, even weather updates, or looking at the traffic. We are not doing right now work from home, so that is not into picture. But yeah, ready my daughter for school. Yeah, going for a jog, hit snooze button, checking the sugar level, breakfast, prepare breakfast. And in the breakfast as well, you will have many things, right? Somebody has morning tea, somebody says prepare coffee, and then so now if these all things, if these are the requirements, right? Now if I can prioritize these all requirements, but it will be very difficult to prioritize, right? Should I have a breakfast and then, or should I do Surya Namaskar, go for jog, do yoga, pranayam, meditation, morning prayers, so many things. So how do I go about this one? So we can break it down into different group, different levels. Might be what we can say is the first activity, we can say waking up. And then we say, right? So that will be my first one. So now in the first one, because that's what is happening, I can say, okay, I'm doing brushing. If somebody is looking for morning tea, will be, it's a bad tea, then it should come. I think morning tea might not come there. And then even somebody say hit snooze button, then go for shower. Or I think even this also want. Then another one we can add here is, what we can say is, related to hygiene. Probably here there won't be anything. We will say, okay, brush your teeth, and then there will be others as well. Shower, and then shaving, right? And then related to health, right? We will have many. One is do Surya Namaskar, and then pray and meditation. Even somebody had written morning prayers, right? We are physically fit, and also we want to make sure that we are fit mentally as well. Take bath and then pranayam and everything. Now this one is on, there are many on this one. Maybe we are getting many requirements which are into one. So that would be my third activity, right? And then I can arrange this one. Now I'm not going to do for everything, but you are getting some idea on this one, right? Now, one of my important questions is, now if you do not have enough time, then what all you can remove? So now if I rephrase my question, what I'm asking is, if we want to do release very early, or we want to go to office in 30 minutes, then probably we will be skipping some of the stuff, right? Prepare and having coffee, probably we won't be doing. Shaving, probably we'll skip if that is not required, or something else is very important. I won't go for jogging. I won't do Surya Namaskar and other stuff. Probably I won't be checking mails in the morning. So what I'm saying is, my first release, I can draw a line, right? Sorry. That is correct. I can draw a line right here. Okay, this will be my first release. So if I have very limited time, then I will do only these many activities, nothing else. And if I get more time, then I will do these many activities. This will be my second release. And if I have got some more time, I will be doing everything on this one. Are you getting me? So now I have a visual representation that how the user journey flows through. And then what is the minimum stuff I want to do in the first release or first go, if I have a very less time and other stuff. So I have prepared something here in the next slide. Let me show you. So you will have some idea on this one. My activities will be get up, get ready, go get to work. Even there can be other aspects as well. So user task will be turn off alarm. I can turn off immediately, or 10 minutes snooze and I can remain in the bed. Collect clothes, get dressed immediately, take clothes to bathroom, get ready, do morning hygiene, shower, brush teeth, shaving and other stuff. Even the health aspect, which is not there, but that also can be another aspect. Now, if I have a very limited time, I can say that, okay, the first release, only first items will go into this one. So if now again going back to overall the user story mapping session, right? What is happening is everybody is together, and then in this we are doing discussions. What should come first? What should come? Because the arrangement which I did just now is only I did, one person only, but there where everybody is together and they will finalize, identify what is priority, which will give us more value, and then only they will be doing that one. So that we know that, okay, how it is prioritized. The priority is from top, higher priority, and then when it goes down to the lower priority, which is giving lower value. Right now, we won't be able to compare directly with this one, but for example perspective, this is perfectly fine. But if you really put your product backlog into this form, Then you can visualize, okay, for a remaining healthy, how many items are there and which one are more critical? How do we prioritize some of them? And if time permits, which one we can pick it up? If there is some time available to us, probably we will go and then pick up one item, morning prayer, into the first release. Or if here where we are looking for some updates, if we do not have enough time, we will say, okay, WhatsApp, we are not going to check right now. We are not going to check weather updates. We are not going to look at the news. But yeah, just the checking mails in the mobile, that would be the key item. So this way, there is more discussions are happening. Everybody is at the same page. We also have a user journey, that what the user is expecting, right? The user, we are solving the problem from that perspective. We are breaking down the big items into smaller ones. So when you map your user stories, your backlog into this format, I think the problems we discussed right earlier, that why we should be going for user story mapping, we will have answers for them. So again, repeating on this one. So user story mapping is a mapping of requirement from user perspective. You can keep any user story map in your mind. Even this one should be fine, or even the one we created, right? This certainly will help you, because it's a very simple example, so that everybody understands this, how I should be doing user story mapping. It's a visual tool to create value by building the stuff that matters, right? You will agree with me on this one, that we are visually creating our backlog. We are picking up the items which are priority based on the discussions. Again, the shared understanding is more important than the shared requirements. We are not passing the requirement, but we are highlighting, okay, in the first release, this is what it should go. The WhatsApp probably won't go into the first release, right? So, and easier to plan releases, right? You know all the requirements available to you. You know what is the time frame available to you, budget and the team size, the velocity and everything. So you know that, okay, how many items can go into this one. You can even compare, right? This is not based on the flat backlog. You can compare whether a particular item is more important than another item and can take decisions. So even if you use this one at the backlog grooming time, that also certainly would work out well. There are some questions as well. So let's take up them as well. So discovering the whole story and build the right product. That's what we want to make customers happy. And that's what the idea is. I hope you can go back home and then in your office and then pick it up, any backlog which you have it right now, and convert it from flat backlog to the user story mapping format, so that it becomes visual and you get the benefits which we discussed today. Okay, there are a couple of questions. What if we don't have dedicated product owners? We don't have clarity of work priority. So Aparjita, this is a big question, right? The product owner is actually responsible for return on investment. So very difficult. So whoever is your proxy customer, right? We say that pseudo customer, like product owner actually represents the customer. So whoever is representing the customer, that probably person would be able to prioritize the requirement. Another one we have, who gets more benefit due to story mapping, is the PO or the team members? The answer is should be everyone, right? If I build the right product the first time, the reworks will be very less, because we are working on the shared understanding. If the team members know why we are doing it, the team morale will be very high. So they will be more productive. If they are more productive, they should get even more monetary benefits as well. And they will get less feedback in terms of what is not working from PO and stakeholders. So that also would be very good. Whose work is reduced more by performing story mapping? So Harihar Sudan is asking, whose work is reduced more by performing story mapping? If we do this activity, who will get more benefited? What do you think, guys?
So Rahul, idea behind the user story mapping is to ensure that everyone is on the same page, correct? So
Correct.
what customer is building, would like to build, what product owner is actually conveying message back to the IT or technical team, what technical team is developing and testing and delivering back to customer. So end of the day, the goal is everyone, every single person involved as a stakeholder and customer should get benefited from this exercise.
Yeah. See, normally, Harihar Sudan, whenever the requirements are there, right, it should be shared face to face with the team members. That is actually, so the team members also will have to spend some time, but it is actually the responsibility of product owner to make sure that the requirements are communicated properly to end team members, the one who are going to develop. The business and IT should work together daily. There was one question on the
Rahul, my question is like, I have seen many shops where they don't do user story mapping and they jump and they skip the step of user story mapping. So what could be the drawback if we don't use user story mapping?
Yeah, probably more rework, right? If you look at the flat backlog, you can go to my first slide, right? This one. The flat backlog doesn't give you any idea of what we are building. If you look at this aspect, right? This one. So what we are mainly focusing is the user journey is there. We are covering all aspects.
Yeah.
So if it is not there, probably whatever we develop might not directly work for the end user.
Correct.
See, the purpose is we build first, we build right the first time.
Yeah.
And we want to release early as well. Otherwise, what will happen? Say, remain healthy, right? There are so many things to be done.
Yeah.
Probably we won't be able to do everything. So if somebody says, no, this is very critical, let's focus everything on this one. That's not the correct one, because not from the perspective, those are not important, but we really want to get the feedback from the customer. So we want to release early and often and get the feedback on this one. So if it is not done, probably, there are many things, right, which we won't be getting. The conversation and other stuff is not there.
And Rahul, one more clarification what I would like to make is, like, the product owner, he's got a sequence of way how the user story should go into the production or into the release, right? The product owner has got a preset setting in his mind that the user story should flow into the release in such and such a way.
Yeah, so if they can put, a product owner can put their whatever the idea in their mind into a user story map format, even a very short one, a simple one, that certainly would make many things very clear. Correct. And then the team members will understand that why we are doing this one and how it is interlinked. You see,
exactly
something, if you know if it is interlinked, then you know, okay, how it is interlinked, why something is very priority.
Correct.
That certainly would come. So it's benefit to everyone. So at the end, it's the product owner and team members, right? When we say Scrum team is all one, right?
Correct. Thanks, Rahul. Thank you.
Yeah, so Pramod has said, just last question, we will pick it up. Even technical user stories must be mapped. So answer would be, certainly we would like to put in, right? When even, see, this is first part, then the another second part will come into picture where we will be putting the story points to this one, right? And when we put the story points, we say do morning hygiene is too much of work, then probably we have to split it or do something else extra or else as well. So in the same way, in the technical user story, certainly we will have to put dependencies, right? And then that should go into user story map as well.
Rahul,
We are overshooting by 10 minutes. So
Rahul, small question.
Yeah, go ahead.
In each release, the features will be selected. So in this release, these are the features it has to go. In the next release, these are the features it has to go. How it is related to user story mapping and feature?
Yeah, so what we are talking about are new features altogether, right? So in this case, what we are saying is the user journey is flowing through all the features. But the example or the scenario which you are talking about is, okay, a particular feature by feature we will be putting. So what we are saying is MVP or the minimum user journey is already there. So probably what we are saying is, say get ready is one of my feature, and then there are a couple of sub activities, user task, and then there are, so we will be focusing only on the center part, right? And then we are doing the user story mapping, because right now here there are just 4 items, but in your case where we are releasing feature by feature, there will be around 50-60 items on this one. So there will be just one feature here, and everything will be related to that particular feature only. And then we can prioritize which release, which it should go and other stuff.
So you mean to say this user activities, whatever you written in the top, can be considered as a feature?
In the user task, you mean?
No, user activities, whatever you are displayed at the top.
Yeah.
Can we consider that as a feature?
Yes. So for every tool and every company uses different terminology, right? So my advice for this would be, it depends on how big the items underneath are. If there are too many items, right, then probably my user task would be features. Right now, don't just look at the, I think this screen would be a better one. Yeah. Don't just look at the narrative flow, but it depends on the number of items under it. How many user stories are there for a particular feature, and based on that, you can map it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining.